What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another World of Warcraft video for the War Within, and today we're talking about making gold once again. Now we're talking about cooking and making gold with cooking here. I've been on a cooking spree recently, and I've made 2 other videos on cooking, where we're talking about mass making gold by making materials in cooking. Now today we're doing things a little bit different, and we are making feasts, and I have recently figured out that feast making is actually really profitable, and a big reason for that is that many of the items used in making feasts have either gone down in price or are staying quite stable, and so are the feasts. That being said, the items used in making the finishing reagent that makes feasts really profitable has been diving down in price, and we can capitalize on this by making feasts more profitable to actually craft. Now, crafting feast and making profit here is actually a little bit complicated, so I'll do my best to give you guys a real thorough explanation of the steps to take to make gold. Now, there are 3 things to note from the start here when it comes to cooking, and cooking is based, like the gold you make on cooking is heavily based on your current cooking skill. So I have 105 cooking skill by being Pandaren and maxing it out, and also plus 29 from having my tools. Well, you get plus 29 from the tools, so you want to have blue tools and, well, 1 blue tool and 1 blue accessories for cooking, if even just for those skill points. But also that multicraft is nice to have when you're crafting feast, and also the resourcefulness on the tool and the tool enchant is also nice to have, so blue tools really good, and being a Pandaren is good for the extra bonus as well. So before I dive any further in here, I just want to show myself buying all of the materials on the auction house, and I just want to show you guys that way of doing it, because making feast is actually profitable by literally buying all of the items on the auction house, making the feasts, and then selling those feasts. That being said, you can enhance these profits by using the gold making videos that I uploaded recently on cooking, for example, where you can make portion steaks and make profit by making portion steak. So you can spend a little bit more time, make the portion steak yourself, and save yourself some gold on the portion steaks. That being said, the biggest cost here for these feasts is the Kaheti slum shark, which is a raw fish. You can't really do anything with that, it is just a raw fish on the market. But you can make the feast slightly cheaper for yourself by making the portion steaks and the spiced meat stock by yourself instead of buying those on the auction house. That being said, I am making gold right now by buying items on the auction house and then selling them. It is also worth noting, all of these items, including the feasts, are on the region-wide auction house, so the server you play on does not matter at all. It is all on the region-wide auction house. So I'm currently making gold in the EU. It is really profitable in EU, which means any server on EU you will make gold at the moment, but when this video comes out you might not make gold anymore. It depends on the prices moving in the last couple of days, plus how people will react to this video becoming public. Now, the secret when it comes to making feast is which finishing reagent you actually use, and in this one you have 2 choices. Number 1 is the hot honeycomb, and number 2 is the secret sauce. Now, the good thing here is that both of these can be bought on the auction house, and the complicated part is if you want to make the secret sauce by yourself. Now, to make this by yourself, you have to go to Ashkahet, spend 1,500 kedge on a recipe to make the eggs. It's called like fine eggs, we'll talk about that more in a little bit, but you have to make those, and getting the recipe for secret sauce is a RNG random drop when refining those eggs into egg powder. And those eggs are also bought with kedge and are therefore somewhat expensive. Now, when you are crafting, these finishing reagents gives you multicraft, and in my experience I cannot really document this, or I guess I could, but the secret sauce gives way more multicraft procs than the actual honeycomb does. They both have the same multicraft percentage. They both increase it to 37%, but the actual amount you proc from the multicraft seems to be way higher on the secret sauce. So as you can see here, we're proccing 12, 13, 20, 17, 20, 17. We're getting all of those bigger procs over 10. Meanwhile, when we used the hot honeycomb, we only procced up to about 11 or 12, sometimes a little bit more, but usually 11 or 12. Now with this one, the secret sauce, we proc way more, and 20 of them quite often. So at the moment, you can see the profit I've made from crafting 20 feasts, which is 13,317 gold, and the current expected profit per craft is 665 gold. You can also see that from 20 crafts we got 170 feasts, so that multicraft proc is actually quite insane. Now hot honeycomb once again also gives you 37%, but the secret sauce seems to give you way more when it actually procs. So 20 is a little bit small of a data amount to pull from, so we're going to craft 40 more. That's going to give us 60 crafts to pull some data from today to see exactly how much gold we can make from 60 crafts of these feasts, just to even out the RNG a little bit. But I'm just going to tell you, I've been making a lot of gold with feasts the last week, and it goes up and down in price a little bit, but the feasts are somewhat stable. Now, as you can see, some multicraft procs are in the 5 to 10 range. We just procced 8 of them, but usually when it procs, we get between 12 and 20 at the same time. Now, if you get really unlucky, like I'm currently doing, you don't make that much gold. It is very RNG based on the multicraft, but based on it being 37%, over time, that RNG will even itself out. So the more you craft, the more that RNG element evens itself out to proc multicraft 37% of the time and give you a lot more feasts. Now, for now, the profitability has actually gone down from 20,000 to less than 10,000, because we are being a little bit unlucky on the multicraft, if I can say so myself, but I'm usually making quite a lot of gold with this one at the moment, just crafting some feasts every single week, and then selling those on the auction house. And as you can see right here, proc 21 on a multicraft, and then a 9 again, and then now 18, and we're back up to 23,000 gold, and we actually saved enough reagents to make one more craft with our resourcefulness procs, so there we go, 22.2k gold after 61 crafts, and that's basically what I'm doing today. So that gave me a lot of feasts that I now have to try to sell and get some gold back from. Now, the good thing about feasts is that they do sell really fast, and this is not really something you should look at as a gold per hour, because they don't sell that fast to the point where you can do this 24/7. This is something I do just to stock up on feasts every single week and sell them throughout the week when people are raiding, doing Mythic Plus and stuff like that. And once again, the feasts are really profitable. Just make sure to use finishing reagents, because anytime I don't proc multicraft, I'm losing gold, but when I proc multicraft, we make a lot of gold. So for example, here on one multicraft proc we made 5.8k, and on this one 800 gold, and on this one 7.5k. So multicraft proc really is the way to make gold when it comes to cooking, specifically when it comes to making feasts or anything you actually craft through cooking. Now, to give you guys an idea of why these feasts are suddenly more profitable now than they used to be, it all has to do with the secret sauce crafting reagent, the finishing reagent, which used to be about 600 gold each, and now it's 200 gold each. And you can see there's quite a few of them available for that price as well. Actually, it would only cost me 400k to reset that market to 300 gold for that secret sauce, but also when you're making secret sauce, you have to consider all of the items involved in making secret sauce. So anyone trying to flip that also has to flip the fine egg powder, for example, and if you're flipping the fine egg powder, you also have to flip the eggs that make that powder. So flipping this item will be a little bit difficult, but I'm just here to tell you that the items here that are used in making secret sauce and the sauce itself has gone down in price. Meanwhile, the feasts have remained the same. So let's talk about the semi-complicated part one more time. In order to make your own secret sauce, you have to get a recipe called fine egg powder, which you buy from a vendor in Ashkahet, and I'm going to try to ping exactly where he's located right now. He's in the City of Threads, so you go to the City of Threads, and he's located pretty much right here, where I'm marking right now. I think that's the place. You have a bunch of cooking trainers in this area, and he will sell you a recipe for 1.5k cash that will then teach you this recipe. Now, whenever you're doing this, you have a small chance to obtain the recipe for secret sauce. So basically, you just have to burn gold on these eggs and mill or process these eggs into fine egg powder and hope to get lucky. Now, another reason why it's gone down in price is that these eggs have also gone down in price. So for example, the Jostling Ovoid, I have no idea if I said that right, but this one right here is less than 200 gold right now. This one used to be 600 gold. Now it's less than 200. So the eggs have gone down in price, therefore the egg powder has gone down in price, and therefore the secret sauce has also gone down in price. Meanwhile, it's mandatory to have secret sauce or the hot honeycomb to actually make gold by making feasts. So feasts have remained the same, but they're cheaper to craft, and the finishing reagent is a lot cheaper now than it used to be, and therefore you're making a lot of gold. Now the good thing is, even though getting a recipe to make your own secret sauce is a little bit complicated, at the current price you really don't need to do it, because buying secret sauce on the auction house is basically the same price, if not even cheaper, than making it yourself. At the moment it costs me 220 gold to make secret sauce, so anyone listed for less than 220, I'm literally better off just buying them straight up from the auction house. So you don't have to go through the trouble of getting that recipe, just buy the secret sauces right from the auction house and you are good to go. Once again, it will significantly increase your profit from making these feasts. And I try to keep that explanation as simple as I can. The TLDR is you can buy all of these materials and even buy the secret sauce on the auction house and literally print gold from making feasts. Now I do believe the Midnight Masquerade feast is the cheapest one to make, and it gives the same stats as the Daylight one, so it's a cheaper one to make, and it gives the same. So I think that's the one that most people do go for, both for selling and for buying. So yeah, making feasts is really good right now. I would recommend trying it out if you do have a cooking character, and if you don't have one, I mean, now is a good time to set one up. I have made 3 videos in pretty much the last week on cooking, talking about different ways to make gold with cooking. I am currently making gold by making portioned steaks, fresh fillets, chopped microbloom, and now also feast. So there's a bunch of different ways to make gold in cooking alone, and I love this profession. If you want to have early access to my gold making videos, as always, check out my gold making guide through the link down below. By having this guide, you will get access to these videos before they go public. You would have had access to this video, for example, for a couple of days before it went public here on YouTube, and the same thing goes for most of my gold making videos, especially crafting videos and gold farming videos. That way you can take advantage of those gold making methods before they are really public, like public information, and before the prices gets changed. You can take advantage of them while they're hot. In addition to that, you get access to a gold making Discord community with a bunch of like-minded individuals that are looking to make a bunch of gold in the War Within, and myself included, and I do make some posts in that Discord server where I'm talking about strategies, tips and tricks that I don't share on YouTube. So it's a good way to support me and a good place to be for making gold, and if you do get the guide, thank you so much. Once again, it's going to be linked down below in the pinned comment. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like down below and let me know how you are making gold in the comments as well. And thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it. I'll see you again in the next video very soon.